Hello.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna give me a minute. Let me just like turn the I'm gonna mute, like go off, come back on, do the intro, and then I'll introduce you and we'll get started if that's cool.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah,
ready.
that's fine.
All right, awesome. Welcome to the Talking About Life podcast. I am your host, Kowski, on Twitter. My full name is Ian Lepkowski. My Twitter handle is Kowski_ETH, ETH. Today we have a guest that is Bella or Bella Licious on Twitter. We are always very gracious and grateful to have a guest on the show. We like to start by thanking God and the universe and the energy for bringing these guests to us. We like to thank our guests for spending their time with us and their vulnerability and their lessons and anything that, they want to, their words of wisdoms that they're going to impart to us. And like I said, we also thank God, the energy in the universe. Today, our guest, like I said, is Bella on Twitter or Bellalicious. The official handle is at Izzy1246. That's IZZY1246. And her Twitter bio reads CEO, female entrepreneur, Web3 student, go giver ambassador, hype woman, comedian at heart, motivational speaker, in need of advice, I got you. So Bella, that's a big bio. We're definitely going to go through it, all the different interesting things on there and your passions. I always say, and I tell all the guests, the show is about passion and positivity. So we're going to dive into what your passions are. But to kick it off, do you want to just kind of introduce yourself a little bit, let people know, how are you doing in general and how you're doing today?
Yes, thank you, Kalski, for this wonderful introduction. My name is Bellalicious on Twitter. Um, I go by Isabella Rodriguez in person. I do like Bellalicious because who doesn't want enough Bella in their lives, you know? Um, so I am a CEO, like it says there on the bio. I have my own business. But I did graduate from Montclair State University. Go Red Hawks. I also reside in Jersey, dirty Jersey, and I am a fully fledged Capricorn. I love zodiacs. I believe that zodiacs do definitely explain how a person can work, how a person sees the world, and I think you know going and looking into a zodiac sign of someone definitely helps you understand them better and how to communicate with them better.
What
A
should
lot of
we
people
real quick?
say,
What should we know? Sorry, definitely go ahead. But what should we know about like your zodiac sign specifically? Like, if we don't know about zodiac signs in general, and then yeah, continue with the rest of the general knowledge.
yeah, so zodiac signs, I believe in that 100%. I know some people get annoyed. Oh my God, you're one of those zodiac, crazy people. And I believe in it in terms of like understanding how a person might think or might understand things. Um, I don't I I don't know like a few of these zodiacs, entirely because I don't have enough of them around me, but the ones that I do have around me, like in a multitude, I know them and I can understand how they work. For a Capricorn like myself, I would say we are very determined. We have a lot of great dreams and we're passionate about what we dream and strive for. We have a lot of love and we definitely, if someone messes with us in the wrong way, we definitely we can definitely be very um mean about it, and we're very stubborn. The stubbornness comes, it comes from the sign. The sign is half goat, half like a fish or a mermaid type of thing. So it's like we can adapt to pretty much a lot of situations, because we're half earth, half water. The full sign is an earth sign, but the actual sign is like half goat and half like, with a tail, for the water. So it just helps us to adapt to various different surroundings, and it helps us to get along with a lot of people, a lot of different people. Unless you do us wrong, then that's the different story. uh but essentially we're great people, we're very nice people, and we love talking, we love being around a lot of people. Of course every zodiac is different, like there's male and female, so it can be different, definitely. But in terms of, I have my dad's a Capricorn as well, uh and I we are very passionate about what we dream about and what we want in life, so a lot of what I'm saying is pretty similar to man and woman.
Now, can I ask you, how did you get into astrology?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I just like, a- as I was younger, I just was like, oh yeah, I'm a Capricorn. And then like people were like, oh my God, really? Like, so then I would read about it online and see like, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I think. Like that's exactly me, sometimes people do these meme videos about it, saying like, "Oh, this is how a Capricorn thinks," and I'm just laughing because I'm like, "Yeah, that's true," or "Wait, that's not me at all." So it's just kind of always been there, and then like you meet people, and then either they'll ask or you'll ask because you vibe with the person so much that you're just like, what sign are you? Like, I have to know. And then like they'll be like, oh my gosh, like I'm a Taurus or I'm a whatever. And then I'm just like, oh my gosh, that explains it. That's why we connect so good, like great people, So and then sometimes you just like hold it in, you're just like, oh, you're that sign. Okay, yeah. Got it. Now it makes sense? So I just kind of like fell into it. I'm not like one of those people that's like 1,000% like, oh my gosh, like I will not date this kind of, person. I believe like zodiacs are important, like I said, to understand them. But it's also, you never know who you're gonna really connect with. You might a sign that you thought you would never date, marry, or be with might be someone that fits with you. It fits your personality. And again, a lot of people, whether you're female or male, and if you're born in the actual zodiac month, it's different. It's a little different for everyone. So like for a Capricorn, a true Capricorn, it's someone who's born in January. I was born in December. So I'm not like a true Capricorn. And also I'm right at the cusp of Sagittarius because I was born the day after Sagittarius ended. So I could have some traits of Sagittarius in how I act too. So that's why it's different for everyone, because they could be in the true month of the zodiac, or they could be, in the month before, the month after. That's not really the true month, but still have those
Do
traits
you
there.
go all the way deep into it? Like, I don't know all this either, but someone who was telling me about astrology once told me there's more than just the signs that people know. Like, those are just like your sun sign. Then there's like a moon sign and a rising sign and an ascending sign. And there's all these like houses. And then Jupiter could be in the fifth house on the rising something, or, I don't know. But do you know about all that stuff, or you kind of stick with the level that most people know, that I know also?
Yeah, I stick to the level everyone knows. I mean, I know about those because I have some friends that are like, "Oh, what's your sign? Let me see. Like, are you like very fanatic about it?" I do have the app CoStar, which helps you understand like the fifth house, sixth house, and like your rising, ascending, and all that. But I don't, that stuff confuses me. I'm gonna be honest. So I just go by the basics, like, okay, you're a Taurus, got you. Like I know exactly because I know 3 Tauruses in my life and I see how they act similarly and differently. Oh, you're a Scorpio? Okay, I see what you mean. I have like 3 Scorpios in my life. I know exactly, you know, how you could get like what are the highest levels of like patience and things like those kinds of things. It's more based on experience of the people around me. Because like I mentioned, there's a multitude of people around me that fall into those signs. So I just go by the basics.
Right, so it's not like a hard rule, you're not, discriminating against anybody or cutting anybody out of the life, it's just a guideline so you have a general idea how to approach situations better, which I like, and if it works, I root for anything that works. I'm not huge into astrology, I like to check it, every once in a while. I have the CoStar app. The CoStar app kinda blows my mind. I think the CoStar
Mhm.
app asks for, like, the date, the time, the location. I don't know who wrote that. I don't know what people are doing on like, aliens wrote it or something. Those people, got me tagged. That
Mhm.
one's kinda wild. Let me ask you, so, you're a CEO, you're passionate about your business, we mentioned that. Does it help you in business in any way? Does it help guide, like, your business decisions, or, like, help you kinda know what to, like, go for or avoid in business at all, or it's more of a personal thing with friends or family?
Um, yeah, so basically the way I got here to where I am, it has a lot to do with the Capricorn in me of like determined hustler, um, like really not taking shit from
I
anyone.
mean, that sounds pretty fucking
And
dope. Do you wanna kinda recap that story or give us a little, run through however
yeah,
long or short or however much time you wanna take, to describe it? Totally up to you, it's all good. But yeah, give us a little run through.
yeah. So basically, you know, we'll start from the really beginning of how everything worked. Like, and also a lot of how I am is thanks to my parents, like if it wasn't for them, and how they acted with me and how they educated me and disciplined me as a kid and growing up and teaching me about morals, teaching me how to treat people, not disrespecting people, being just being kind, to one another. And hopefully one day they can meet Gary Vee because they are the ones who taught me kindness from the very beginning. But the way that really started is my parents. I'm Brazilian, so my parents met all the way back in Brazil, and they connected, and my dad's mother, kind of set up his life. She came from Brazil earlier and was always you know helping his aunt take care of him in Brazil while she was, working here and sending money to his aunt in Brazil so him and his sister could have a good life in Brazil. So she started the foundation. She was the first one to come from Brazil here. Then, him and my aunt came, and my aunt decided to go back to Brazil. She's like, "Nope, I'm not having it. I'm gonna go back to where I used to live all my life." My dad's like, "I'm gonna take a chance on America." So, my dad took a chance, and my mom, mentioned it to her family, and she decided to take a chance on America as well. So she came in, they both came in, they started from the very scratch. They started from the very scratch to the point that my mom used to tell me stories that she was renting a room in an apartment or just like an apartment, and because the person downstairs was dirty, like there was cockroaches in her house, and she would always clean it every single time. She was a very clean person. She would always clean it, and like that's just like from the scratch. Like that's how they started. My dad was also working in a restaurant as a busboy, like the very beginning, the very like it's the very first job like immigrants coming in normally have. Um, and shout out to all the immigrant people and families and parents. I believe that, you know, if you're an immigrant coming into America, you dedicated a lot of hard work to finally get to where you are. and you are still working hard to get to a better future. Like you coming in as an immigrant, you already want a good future for yourself. You're already thinking in that 1% mindset. I don't care what anyone else says. I just believe that, every immigrant that comes in is very hardworking in what they do. And I know there's like, there might be some skeptical things about it. Some people, but I just believe in terms of work ethics, it's very strong with those people. And I've worked with immigrants as well. I used to work at a restaurant as well, and I've seen it with my own eyes. They're super hardworking, hours at a time to provide for their families, and I admire that. So, especially because my parents were immigrants, and they made a life for themselves and helped build this life for me. Because if it wasn't for them taking that first step, like we're moving to America, we're gonna start everything in America, I wouldn't be here CEO of a business today. So I am very grateful for that. So they came in, they had struggles, they lived a good life. My mom raised me at home. She would work from home back in the day, like making jewelry after she went from like a waitress at a restaurant to cleaning houses to having an opportunity from this lady that she used to clean her house, and decided to make jewelry from home, like silver, like actual jewelry from home. She had like her little table and everything. She would take care of me from home while my dad was out late into the days, working at the restaurant, this famous restaurant called Biche, like where a lot of like famous people would go to, being a busboy, eventually like getting promoted to like waiter and things like that. So started from the very scratch, and then they were able to provide for me, give me a good life, have me go to school. They did, um, they did split up. Did get a divorce, but they still, the main goal was to always make sure I was good, always make sure that I had a good education, always make sure that I had friends, always make sure that I was good. And my mom would tell me stories now that I just never saw. Like she said that she struggled, to to get an apartment for us, like in the beginning, like as a single mom. My dad helped, but back in the day, they, like I said, they didn't have like a that good of a job, so it was very hard. And she struggled, but she never made it look like she was struggling. And as a kid, I was so happy with everything. I was so like, like excited about everything. I didn't see it until today that she told me, and I could see it now. And I was very grateful and appreciative of them, for working that hard. And it wasn't easy to get to where I am today. There was a lot of like teenage rebelliousness, like the whole the whole thing. Um but a lot of what happened during my rebellious years did help me get me out of that naive mindset, help me um you know be persistent, be like a motivated person. I've made mistakes in my life where, um, because of my mistakes, it was a repercussion into, I lost my car. I had speeding tickets. I I was like, I lost a person in a relationship because of like how everything was going, all of these things. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna turn my life around. Like my car, because I got the tickets, it was taken away from me from my parents, even though I was paying the payments per month.
Were you like
Um,
racing your car, or you just happened to rack up like a lot of
oh
speeding
yeah.
tickets?
Oh no, I'm a big speed racer. I've gotten
Wait,
better,
really? You're fucking with
but
me or no?
no, I'm so serious.
Really? Like street
um,
racing? Like, wait, tell me about this. This is crazy.
No, no, not street racing. It was more of like, "Oh shit, I have a curfew. I have to be home in like half an hour, and I don't care what anyone says." So I'm like
Oh, but
zooming.
you're not racing other
Um,
cars.
I've tried, but like then at one point they just like either I would beat them.
Wait, what
It
do you
wasn't like
mean you try?
anything like,
Wait, you tried like with people like okay, so there's people that like get together and have meets and like do this type of shit.
oh no, not like that, not like that.
You would just pull up at like a red light, just start revving the engine, just like get a fucking
Yeah,
fight. That's
yeah,
so
like
fun. Because
I
people do that.
was like my friend that I used to work with, she was so scared, but I'd be like, "Come on, let's race." And she's like, "Okay, fine, whatever." So I'd be like, "All right, let's go." So and then I would drive super fast, and she would like keep up because she had like an Acura, like a two-door Acura. I had some like old Kia sedan at that time, and I still beat her. Like I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Like and and she was like, "Oh no, I was just so scared." Like I'm like, "Come on, like give me a thrill here." Like
Oh, it could be dangerous. You gotta be careful. I mean, there's tracks where people go to do it. Some people go to like industrial districts and like race up and down like after hours, like like where something that's a factory during the day. Usually they have like big streets kind of in between, and they'll people will fucking race over there and that shit. But yeah, definitely be careful.
no,
A
no,
fun,
yeah. I
that's an
mean,
interesting fun fact, but yeah, need for
you know Jersey, right? You know like Jersey. So I was on the Parkway, and this was the day that I fucked myself over like drastically. I was on the Parkway. I was like, "Oh shoot, I need to be home in like 20 minutes and I'm half an hour away. How am I going to do this?" So, full racing mode Bella came in and I was in my Hyundai Elantra. I think it was like 2006, 2015, 16, I don't know. Leased car and I was in my Hyundai Elantra and I was driving and I wasn't putting my turn signals and I was just like driving and just riding it and just going and I was doing 155 and because I was doing 155 and I wasn't putting my turn signals, even though I was not affecting anybody, like I was just like zooming in and out of lanes, um, the cops didn't really like that, you know. So I got pulled over and I got 2 tickets, 7 points, um, and then I got home like and then that made me get home late. So yeah, definitely don't speed. It's definitely not recommended, you know, unless you're doing it at a track to race. But yeah, so because of that, um, the car was leased under my stepfather's name because I didn't have enough credit to put it like as my name, but I was the co-signer. So he was a full person under it and I was the co-signer. So to not make his account look bad, they took the car away. Even though I was paying for it, they were paying insurance. They took my car away because with the points it was gonna go up. So literally I had zero car. I had no car and I was still in college at the time. So I had to go to college, still go to work after college, and have no car. And I was living with my dad at the time and he was like, if I am able to give you a ride, I'll give you a ride, but no promises, no guarantees. You're gonna learn how to take public transportation. And I was like, great. And we all love public transportation, right? That it's always on a scheduled time. There's never any problems, right? It's never like, oh, we're not gonna work today, and that's just a FYI for you when you're already late. So Uber and Lyft were my best friends for a while, and I was so angry at that point. But, it's crazy because those things helped me get like a car that I probably would have never gotten, which was a Nissan Altima two-door fast red car. And I got into some trouble with that, but it was my car under my name with my own insurance, so no one could say anything about it. No one could take it away. But I worked so hard for that. I worked like 4 or 5 jobs for the whole like towards the end of the
wait,
year,
5 jobs
getting
like at the
closer.
same time or throughout the year?
Yes, the
Is-
same
I
time.
mean,
So
what?
I
What five
was,
jobs? That's crazy. What hours was that even?
oh, I was like, I was just like, I need to make money. And this one job, actually, these 2 jobs, which were my main jobs, weren't giving me enough money. So in the summer, when it got to the summertime, then once college was over and everything, then I worked an extra 2, 3 jobs. So one of them kind of didn't count because it was babysitting my siblings, which was my contribution to rent. when I was living with my dad. So I was taking care of my siblings like once a week. Then, the lady who would come to straighten up our house, like to clean our house, she needed help learning English. So from Portuguese to English, so I would go in one time a week and help her and teach her like some English words and some English things. And she was paying me for that. That was once a week. So that's two jobs right there. Then I was working at a summer swim club and tennis club and in the kitchen. And that was my third job. That was in the summers. I think I would work one full day there, and I would work on Sundays because my two other jobs didn't need me on Sundays. So then I would work the full Sunday. So two full days at the you know, uh, uh, um, summer gig. And then I had the restaurant, which I would do on Saturday nights, because my other job would finish work at like 5. So then at 6, I would be at the restaurant. And then my other job was Vision Works. And that was like my main source of income, my main job. So yeah, I was working for 5 jobs. So anyone that says like, "Oh, I can't, I can't work 5 like I can't even work 2 jobs," like I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. Like you can do what you set your mind to. Like if you need to make money, there you can make money
And
if you
that was
really
all
want
for
to.
the
So
motivation to get this, what'd you say? It was a Nissan, this car?
this car, yes. I mean, the car kind of fell into my lap, but like it was to have enough money to put as a down payment on a car. And, Geico, shout out to Geico for for giving me a decent rate at the time because of my records. I was paying $280 a month for insurance, and plus my car note was probably like 200 2 to $300 a month as well.
Yeah, that's a lot to be tied down in, automobile costs. So how I'm still we're still on the path here. So how do you get from here to, starting your own business? This is a pretty interesting story.
Yeah, so all of that helped me set up, you know I guess, this determination and like undevoted, I mean devoted like attention and hustling part of it. So, I after I got the car and I had my own phone at the time, I was able to afford my own phone, my own line, and I was like, I don't need, your guys's money for phone or car. This is my stuff now. And now you guys can't take this away from me anymore. Which it felt good. It felt good to say that. So like um I still had a curfew, but they couldn't take my car away if I got home late or whatever, because that was my car. I was paying for it. So that started getting better. Then my life started changing around a little bit, and I came across this, information on social media about Grant Cardone, and that there was a BOGO deal, and it was $500 for executive seats at his 10X conference. So I was like, oh my gosh, like that's what I want. Oh, kind of rewind a little bit. While I was in college, I studied communications and I had the idea of becoming an event planner, and that's what I wanted. It wasn't until my last year, I believe it was first or second semester, like the last year of college, where my counselor at the school said, "Hey, we have this opening for an entrepreneurship mindset class. And if you want to do it, just let me know. I'll put you in." And I said, "Oh, yeah, sure." And in college, I got a 3.0 GPA, but I was not a good test taker. So the way I managed that, which is a recommendation to any college student listening, take you're in college already. You're paying for college already. So you're already paying a lot, right? Take as many like what do you call those classes? Just like extra classes. Take as many extra
Electives, I
classes.
think.
Yes, electives. Thank you. Take as many electives as you can that either has to do with your major or something that you want to learn. Like you're already paying a bill and a half for college. take advantage of it. Go take a course on astrology if they have it, like an easy class, but like that you will learn something separate from it. So that's what I would do. And because I did those classes and I did well in those kinds of classes, that brought my GPA up. So I ended college with a 3.0 GPA thanks to those extra classes I was taking. So after I took those classes and I passed everything, um, I came across this class and I loved it. I just loved it. We had to create a product and we would have to create ideas. Our teacher would make us read a book of all out of all these entrepreneur books, and it was such a great time. Think and Grow Rich. It was great. Um, and so two of the times we had to create ideas. And so I had so many ideas, and it was actually one day I was at work falling asleep and I could not keep my eyes up. I could not keep my eyes up or open. And so I thought of like, oh my gosh, what have I created? This kind of eye drop that would give me caffeine in my eyes, you know? So I wrote it down and then we met in groups and we went over each other's ideas and everyone picked mine. So we were like, okay, cool. And so we had to develop it. We had to develop a prototype. We had to see like the ingredients. We had to like create like a little bottle, and then we had to present that information to not only my professor but some other professors that were gonna see whose idea was the best. And so we presented it, and it was ours and another group's idea that got top choice. Um, so we executed it very well,
Wait,
and
and real quick, yours was caffeine eye drops?
yes, like
That's wild. That's getting
organically.
banned. So I one, that's a great fucking idea. Two, that's a horrible idea.
No, 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 but
That
it's
is
not
getting
like
banned so fast. That is
no,
gonna get
no.
so popular and then so reckless. Sorry, go
No, no,
ahead.
no. But it's not, it wouldn't be like what you're thinking, like, here, let me just pour coffee in my eyes. But it would be like green tea. Like it would be natural, organic things.
It's gonna be gamers doing like three
Yeah.
day binges, World of Warcraft. You're gonna hear just squeezing bottles at a time into their eye sockets.
I
But
know, yeah. That's
but I
and
mean, that's
like
what I'm saying. That shit'll fly off the shelves, but there'll be an epidemic. 13-year-olds everywhere will be like the Walking Dead. They'll never sleep again.
I know. No, I know. And I was like, and it was a great idea, and I wish we would have acted on it because our professor was like, if you want to act on it, like they have this program in the school where we can present our project, and they would donate money to our projects, get it going. But no one wanted to do it, and then I think I couldn't do it on my own because everyone took part in that idea. Even though it was my original idea, everyone took part in adding to it. So I couldn't just do it by myself. I had to wait a certain amount of time to do it on my own if I wanted to. And I think about that every day. And so based on all of that, I was like, oh, forget event planner. I want to be my own boss. I want to be an entrepreneur. People would come in like the guys that created this pasta sauce. I don't know if you've heard of Lightbridge Academy. That CEO came in and talked to us. So it was definitely a moving and inspirational class. So because of all of that, I was like, I want to be an entrepreneur. And then things just started falling. I'm telling you, Kowski, things were falling into their places like you wouldn't believe. I was like, this is like, I'm over here talking to God. I was like, you're bullshitting me right now, right? Like, there's no way that all these things are falling into place right now. Like, you're joking with me, right? Like, what's going on here? So basically, after that, then that's when I saw the ad for 10X conference. And I was like, it was around my birthday when I saw this ad. It was like a Black Friday special, buy one, get one free, $500 for executive seats, whatever. I was like, I put my parents in a group chat and I was like, as my birthday/Christmas gift, because I was born December 23rd, so I'm right there. So as my birthday/Christmas gift, if you guys could please spare this kind of money so that I could um go to this. I feel like it would be very valuable for me to learn, and it would be such a great experience, and I would love to receive this as a gift. And so my parents were like, "Oh, when you get rich and famous, you better remember us," like joking around. But I literally was like they both said yes, and I was so like I was jumping up and down, like I felt like I just won the lottery. So I went to the conference. It was amazing. I saw all these people: Steve Harvey, Grant Cardone, and some other people that I don't remember right now because I'm getting excited for the next part that I'm going to tell you. But all these great moving people. I cried for Steve Harvey, by the way. He's such an amazing speaker, and he was so nice. Um, but yeah, so I literally enjoyed my time there. I met some great friends, some great people. Um, and so I came back from the conference and it was amazing. And I go back to work. I'm working at VisionWorks. This lady comes in wearing a 10X hat. And the only way I know that is because I bought 10X hats for me and my boyfriend. We bought matching shirts and matching hats. And she came into my job with a 10X hat, and I was like, this is not real. This is not real. How are you doing this, God? And you know, I was like, okay, so I told everyone at work, I was like, oh, let me do her exam. I got this. I'm gonna do her exam because let me just do it. And no one wanted to work anyway, so they were like, yeah, fine. This is at the eye doctors, by the way. So no one wanted to work. I go and do her exam, and we get to talking, and I was like, oh, so you went to the 10X conference? She's like, yes, I'm a CEO, I'm a business owner, I have my own fitness a program for women, blah blah. And she was such a like an inspiring person, and such a great vibe. So I got to talking to her. She's like, what do you do? So I'm like, I'm here, I do this like vision works, but I also I'm starting to do my life insurance business, and I'm really not getting good with that, and I'm really not doing well with that. So, I don't know about it. And she's like, "Oh, I think you're going to be great. I think you're going to be so successful." And actually, my friend, he's looking for people. He's hiring agents. And I was like, "Oh, really?" And she's like, "Yeah, but it's for health insurance." And I was like, "Oh, no, no, no. Health insurance, my stepdad did it. It's so hard. No way. I don't want to do it." She's like, "Here, I'm going to give you his number and you guys can talk." I was like, okay, well, thank you. Have a good day, whatever. Then as soon as I got out of work, he called me and he's telling me, he's answering my questions, how this is different than life insurance. And it's great because, it's sad, but life insurance is the first thing to go. For some people, life insurance is the first thing to go. If you don't have enough money for bills, buy life insurance for some people. So health insurance, you need health insurance. At least in America, you need health insurance. You need to have that. There's no questions about it. So he was like, it's a more guaranteed thing. So, just come in, have a meeting with me and my director and just see for yourself. So I was like, okay, why not? So I go in and I meet him and his director, and we're talking. They're saying like this is totally different in life insurance. You're gonna have a whole different experience. We're way more supportive than what they're giving you, blah blah blah. Then I was like, okay, I have to see. And then his director was like, here, I just want you to know how this job has changed my life. So he shows me his statement that he just had there by chance, which I think was like all played out. But he had his statement there and he covers the last three numbers. So it's 175, comma. I'm like, excuse me, this is what you have in your account? He's like, yep, that's what I have in my account. I was like, and this is because of this? He's like, yep. I was like, "Oh, you're talking different now. You didn't tell me that." So I was like, "Okay, let me think about it." So I left.
Wait,
I
just to
left the
clarify, it was
meeting.
175,000 at least?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
basically 175, comma. That's all I saw. But yes, that was 175,000. It was a comma. Like I made sure it was a comma. It wasn't a period. So I left there like, dude, what the heck? So I go and I ask him out because I didn't have that much money at that time because I was back in school. So I didn't have my other three jobs. It was just like my two jobs. So I went back to school. I was still in school, I mean. And so I asked my mom, I was like, can you lend me some money so I could take the class? Because when you're doing an insurance business, you have to take a course first, then you have to take the test in the course, pass the course, and take the state exam. And then you can start, working in that insurance field. So I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, could you lend me $250 to pay for the course so that I could do this? And because they were skeptical, because my mom was skeptical on based on how I did with the life insurance, she was like, I don't know, I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna be good for you. And I was like, Mom, I feel it in my gut. Like I really feel it in my gut. So she basically said no at the time. I asked my friend, he couldn't do it. I asked my dad, he was furious because the same thing, the life insurance didn't work out and he didn't want me like wasting time. And I had debt collecting up, I had credit card bills that were reaching out to my stepmom's family, and it was just like really like horrible. It was just everything was bad. So, but I was like, I fully believe this is gonna work. I really am telling you this is gonna work. But no one at that time seemed to believe it because they had seen me struggling with the life insurance. Which by the way, I know I didn't succeed in life insurance at that time because it was poor management. They didn't train me that well, but I wouldn't change anything about that. Like teach me um helped teach me about life insurance, and also I had an experience with that helped shaped where I am today. So I would never regret my decision on that. So I was like, I told the manager that called me, and I was like, look, I'm sorry, man, I don't have enough money to do the course, so this is something I can't do right now. I'm so sorry. Like I really want to do it, and I see what you guys are saying now, but I really can't. So he's like, look, I wanted to tell you that we are going to invest in you and we're going to pay your course for you. And I was like, no, are you serious with me right now? And he's like, yes, we're going to pay your course for you. Cause you have that fire that I had in the beginning. So we're going to invest in you and we're going to pay the course for you. I was like, dude, I have to pinch myself right now because there's no way, right? So I took the course and I passed the class. Then you have to take the state exam, and the state exams that they make it for you to fail because they create these questions so poorly written on purpose so that you can fail, and you know they just want to see if you could succeed past that. So I failed the first time. I failed the second time. By the second time, at that time in my life, my godfather, who was a figure in my life that was I was very close with, he had passed away during that weekend that I was, going to take the test. That kind of threw me off a little bit, and I missed the test by one question. I failed the test by one question. And by the way, this test, you don't need it to be a good salesperson in this business. It's just they make it hard on purpose so you don't pass, so you can keep taking the test, right? So none of what I did on that test did we need in the business in today's day and age. So I go, I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I give up. And it wasn't until that point my mom was like, no, you're gonna finish. You're gonna take this test, even if I have to help you pay for the test. You're gonna take this test and you're gonna pass it. She's like, just keep studying, you're gonna do it. So I took the test a third time, didn't pass, and I was furious again. And she's like, no, 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 no. Next weekend, you got this, and I was going Saturdays early in the morning because I had to work the whole week and go to school. And so then finally I took the test the fourth time and I finally passed by like a hair. And I was over here crying. It was all these emotions. I called my parents. I was like, I finally passed this freaking test four times later. And even my dad, that was skeptical in the beginning, he was like, I'm very proud of you. I'm going to actually pay for your license. So, you went from two parents that were kind of skeptical because of a past experience to now, oh, we're going to help support you. So I was like, "Thank you so much. I'm very grateful." And then I started my business, and it was slow. Health insurance. I was still learning everything. I was learning the ropes of everything. I would get frustrated. I'm like, I'm making more money, yes, but not as much as I thought, not as much as the guy showed me. And I know things take time. So that was the first year. Second year, also not that well, and I was giving up on myself. My manager's like, you have to give this a chance, like a valid chance. Don't think about it too much. Just go into it give people the information. Oh, by the way, the insurance I do is Medicare health insurance. So it's for seniors and anyone disabled. Um, so I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a chance. My third year, like going into my third year, which was going into COVID, or like the second year was like COVID going into it. And I was able to quit I had changed from VisionWorks to Liberty Travel, and which I also was not getting the proper training. It's like no one knows no one knows how to properly train people in these businesses. So and I promised myself if I ever became a manager in this business in the Medicare insurance field, that I would become a better manager than these people that were trying to be a manager to me, because I believe that if you invest your time, even in money, on your people, your business will do a 360 and will succeed drastically. So, but I wasn't at a point of being a manager yet. So then I went in and I quit my job because I had already been in the company for 3 months and I wasn't able to take a weekend off that I requested. And so it seems drastic. Like, okay, I quit, but I quit because it was already like 4 months in, and I'm allowed to get at least one weekend off. And the guy said he denied it, and I wanted to go to this other conference because I'm all about going to conferences and learning. So I wanted to go to the conference, and I felt that the conference was more meaningful to me based on my experience with 10x, um, than to be at that job sitting there like not doing anything. So I was like, you know what? I quit. And the managers are you sure? And everything. Yes, I'm putting my 2 weeks, I quit. In those 2 weeks, I sold more than I did in the past 3 months at that job, which is crazy. They're like, oh, are you sure you want to quit? I said, yes, 100%. So once I quit Liberty Travel, we were going into COVID, and I started selling more for the insurance, even working from home. And I started selling more for the insurance. And, I did great during the year. I increased my numbers from the previous year. And by the following year, I had enough money to pay off all my debt. It was like $10,000 of debt, credit card debt. And I was able to pay all of my credit card debt off. And then I was like, this is going to be different. So the following year, I think that was the third year I was going into it, and I was doing insurance full time. I did I exceeded my goal. My goal was to do 100 sales. I exceeded my goal and I did 160 that year. And I created my LLC. Um and then it was just like game over. Like, I created my LLC. It's called Golden Soul Agency. And the following year, after that, I had enough money saved up, because I did so well the year before, that I decided to invest in a minibus. So the minibus is a mobile office that I use at events.
How big?
So
Tell us about this mini bus. Is it a mini school bus? Is it yellow? Is it like what are we picturing here?
yeah, so it's actually white. I work for United Healthcare, so the base of the bus is white with like blue letters, and then my logo on it for Golden Soul Agency. Um, and it's like those mini Access Link buses, like I don't know if you know those like buses that take you to from New Jersey to New York. I forgot what they're called. Those small little buses. So
I
it's
do
like,
not know them. I know the Greyhounds and stuff. I don't know the little ones.
yeah, there's little ones that are like that they have in Passaic or Hoboken or things like that, that take you straight to New York. Um, it's a quick trip and it's cheap. I don't know what they're called, but it's kind of like that. It's an Access Link bus, like the one that comes with the wheelchair, um, the wheelchair elevator thing. So
Yeah, I
it
think.
can't. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying I think I can kind of picture what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean that one did come with a wheelchair elevator, and I was like, oh great, cool, but I had to get rid of it to fit everything in there. But regardless, so we remodeled the inside. The company paid for the wrapping on the outside of the bus, because at first they were like, no, just get a van, just get a van, don't get a bus, because like, how are you gonna park it? And then I was like, why am I gonna copy everyone? Why am I gonna copy everyone and get a van, like a Transit 450, 350, that everyone at the time was getting during COVID, because everyone was trying to start their own business during COVID. So I was like, why am I gonna get a Transit? Like, I like them and everything, but it wasn't working out. I was going to all these different dealerships, and they basically laughed in my face. My boyfriend would come with me. They would like, oh, here you go, sir. Here's the Transit. No, it's for me, buddy. It's for me. It's not for him. It's for me. I would get really pissed off because it's like, how do you assume that? Like, what if a woman wants to drive a Transit, man? Like, come on. So I would get very furious about that. And I even, like, because I was so stressed about it and I wanted to get this going already, I even had like a panic attack about it. um because it's like you want things to work out, then they don't work out, and it's like very frustrating. um but that's entrepreneurship for you. um
Yeah, no, and I just want to say too, like I'm loving the story. There's all these points where you could have quit. There's all these obstacles that you have. Somebody else might have quit and just said fuck it. Like at any of the different points that you were challenged, where you decided to keep going and get over that. So just want to give you that kind of, shout out for continuing and getting to the point where you achieved what you were looking to achieve, where you are your own boss. You don't have somebody, like your parents were taking away your car, taking away your fucking days that you don't want to work, or sorry, the days that you want to go on vacation, you want to go to a conference. No one's fucking getting in your way, getting in between you and what you're trying to do right now. You have this bus. So yeah, I love it. I think the bus is a really cool idea. It definitely, broadcasts your message to the world. A van is, not a bad idea, but yeah, I mean, a bus really makes a big impact, big image if you're looking outside of a window or it's passing you by or whatever it is. It really gets the name stuck in your head. So I think that was a cool creative choice.
yeah, thank you for that. And I appreciate you, you know um appreciating my story, because it was difficult. It really was. Like, it seems, yeah, like, to the naked eye it might seem like easy, but I'm also not telling the whole
I mean,
story.
five
There's a
jobs
lot of
doesn't
other
sound
things.
easy to me. I don't sound it easy, but and then there's more. There's more to the story.
N-
Yeah, I don't think it
yes,
sounded easy
yes.
particularly.
No, yeah, I mean, it was definitely challenging. I mean, I was younger at that time, so I had the energy. I was good with it. And it wasn't like I worked the 5 jobs and got home at like 3 in the morning because of the jobs, right? I would get at home like 2, 3 in the morning because I was out. So I would still work, and then I would still have time. I was dating at the time. I would still have time for my boyfriend. And it's like there was no, like, people that give me excuses. I'm like, no, bro, I'm sorry. Like, you can't give me an excuse. You can't. I worked 5 jobs. I still dated. I still spent time with my family. I still saw my siblings. I still took care of, like, you can't tell me you don't have time. Anyone who says you don't have time, I'm sorry, but it's bullshit. It's literally bullshit. There's 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. You can manage something. You can. Like, there's no questions about it. And this bus, it took a long time, because I did it, honestly, I did it the cheaper way, because I was like, I don't have enough money to here take like 20 grand, which I don't know if it ended up being 20 grand anyway, but I didn't have money to go somewhere and just say, here, fix it up for me. I had to do it the asking way, like any people who were carpenters, which was my stepdad. A lot of the work in my bus was because of my stepdad, thanks to him. um and friends of my stepdad and my mom's, that, like, there was someone that came and painted the inside of the bus because it was like a dirty gray color, like, nasty. I had my brother-in-law, help me take out the seats of the bus, sold a lot of the stuff that was in the bus that people could use. And had it plain Jane. I installed like vinyl flooring. But just like, even the layout was so difficult to find. Like, to think about. I was like, because inside of a bus there's that little black part that goes around the wheel that like sticks out super high. I don't know if
Yeah, yeah.
if you remember. Yeah, so it's like a trapezoid like shape, and that trapezoid shape was cutting into the measurements that we were thinking, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to do, like how am I going to use up this space? So a lot of thinking went into it. I was like, okay, so I could do like a little stage type of thing and like make a box around it, elevate the floor that my stepdad did, and then elevate that floor so that I can slide plastic bins under it, put the materials for work inside of the raised up floor. And then on the other side, because there's the other lifted trapezoid part, create like a waiting area seat that I could also open up and put stuff in there as storage. Which they were like, my stepdad and my mom were like, oh yeah, that could actually work. So we did that. We lifted everything up basically, and now there's like two little tables with four seats. Like as if you were going to an office, like one seat, um, like a full booth basically. Two full booths in the bus, and a little waiting area right there. It's kind of a little tight, but it gets the job done. And I've already used it at events, and people were always commenting, wow, this is so cool in here. Like, this is really good work in here. Um, and even when I tell people the name of my company, they get happy and they feel warm, which is exactly what I wanted. Golden Soul, the way I came up with that, my name on Instagram is Sun8Soul, like SUN, the number 8SOL. And the way I came up with Golden Soul is like I was talking to my dad and I was like, Dad, I need a name. And I don't know, like, so we were going back and forth. So, my dad, since I work with seniors, he's like, golden years. And I was like, yeah, but it sounds like too old, and I don't have just like senior clients. I do have like younger people that are disabled. So I can't just say golden years agency, like, so then I was like, wait a minute, soul, like my name on Instagram. But instead of spelling it like the Latin way, which is SOL, I spelled it soul, like your soul, SOUL. So Golden Soul Agency. And the reason I picked that is because the sun, which could come off from soul as the sun in Latin, it's warm, it's nice, it's bright, and golden because the color is golden, you know. Um, Golden Soul Agency, basically saying that I have a good soul, that I'm warm, that I'm bright, that I will like help you out, like giving people that warm feeling. And the logo is like a heart, like a golden, like 3D heart with a sun inside. Um, Basically, like I'm a warm heart. I have a warm heart. So, you know, when I tell people and I explain to people, like my clients, that they get really happy and they say, I really, really genuinely like that name. And then they see my bus and they're like, I really love, 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 love your bus. It's just like amazing, So I know I'm on the right path. So now I'm going into my fourth year, and now things are definitely different. Like, and I've been working for myself for the past probably like 2 years, working on my own in this business. And I wouldn't change my path for anything, even the rebellious years, even uh the struggling times, the five jobs. Like, I learned a lot from that time, and it helped shape me into this more mature self, and it helped give me clarity on a lot of things in my life. So, like, my best advice out there for everyone is like, obviously take action, and don't listen to the outside noise. The outside noise could be anyone as close to your family, friends, because they don't want you to succeed. I had people in my job at VisionWorks, unfortunately, that my energy was too much for them. Like, my happy go lucky energy was too much for them. and they were just like, "Oh my gosh, this girl's so annoying, like, get her out of here," you know, and, they even told, because my friend told me afterwards, they even told her when I wasn't around, "She's not gonna succeed in this. She's just gonna come crawling back here and just be working from here." And then my friend's like, "Oh no, she's gonna get out of here. Believe me, she's gonna get out of here." Which that friend is actually a Capricorn, so she knew about me, and she knew I was gonna get out of there. So yeah, so definitely don't listen to the outside noise, as tempting as it might be around you. Definitely just keep your head on track. Just go for it. You want to be the next top baker, just go for it. And, use your tools around you. Like Gary says, like use TikTok, use Instagram reels, depending what you're trying to do out there. Definitely use what you have around you. Ask for help. You know, don't be scared to ask for help. It's free. You don't have to pay anyone for it. Ask people for help. Ask people to spread your message around. Like just use your resources to help you get to where you want to go. I asked my family for help to build this bus. Like I couldn't do it on my own, and I couldn't afford to do it anywhere else, you know. And even though my family helped, I still paid them something. It wasn't as much as I would pay outside, but I still paid them something too. So like just appreciate what you have around you and just go for it. I know it seems easier said than done, believe me. But it's just something that once you see the end of the tunnel and you see that's what I want for myself, it doesn't matter what else is going on around you. Like just go for it and you're gonna get there.
Love it.
You just gotta take that first step.
Love to hear it and love the positive message. Now, Bella, I've loved your whole story. It fits the theme of the show. It's all about passion, it's all about positivity, it's all about setting an example and sharing your lessons with others. And you've definitely done that today. And I absolutely love that. We always reserve the last 10 minutes or so to close out here. If you want to, let anyone know, like a website to go to or your links or somewhere to follow you, it's kind of like a little bit of like a self promotion spotlight. Also, we don't always do questions. We did have Chris in the audience raise his hand. If you wanted to answer a question, I think he maybe had a question because he has to come up and speak. But we do have about 10 minutes here. However, you want to close out, if you want to take the question, or if you want to do a little promotion thing, or whatever you want to do with these last 10 minutes here, it's up to you.
Yeah, I'll take a question.
Hey, Bellalicious, awesome story. Wow, what a just an example of just determination and grit and sort of the law of attraction. You attract what you believe, and you're just a real shining example of that. I'd be interested in two things. You said you were $10,000 in debt. What was that debt? That's question number one. And then
Mhm.
question number two is how do you have a content strategy online that helps generate business for you? I'd be really interested to know that. And I love the van story. That's such a great marketing tactic. I'm out. Great story. Loved hearing it.
Yeah, thank you, Chris, and I appreciate your questions, and I appreciate you acknowledging, my story. So yes, so the $10,000 of debt was young Bella. You know, started her credit years that I should have invested otherwise on spending on things that I didn't have money for at the time. And so the debt kept collecting and collecting and collecting. And, you know, it was just like to the point that the bank was like, okay, bro, you haven't paid us. We're done here. We're closing your account after you pay it. So I had to settle all the bills basically. Um, and it was that was the only regret in my life, to have gotten credit cards and spent it on frivolous things that I didn't have money for at the time. So now that I have credit cards, under my business, under my personal name, I make sure to pay those off, once it's time. So I'm much better with my credit now. But yeah, it was just basically me being, young Bella just doing whatever she wanted and not thinking about the consequences about it. So that was your first question. Second question, I don't really have a content strategy. I'm looking to definitely um, do more, um, like social media work for my business to see how I can market Medicare more online. I know not a lot of the younger crowd uh, um, has needs Medicare, but you never know if that younger crowd has family who does. So it's definitely something that I want to look into this year. And I just everything that happened in my life was like that, like I mentioned in the beginning, things that fell in my lap, literally like that, like were things that showed up in my life where I would take advantage of. And then I would just like do research online and just go into the next steps of it or ask for advice from other mentors that I had. And that helped get to where I am today, and going to conferences and learning from other big names out there, following other big names out there, Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, like these people helped give me that motivation as well, and helped me like act on things as well. Like, so definitely those were my strategies that I used for that.
Thanks so much. That's awesome. I know Gary Vee is all about making content, so I was really curious about what your strategy was there, and it's good to hear that you're sort of on that path.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna be doing that this year, definitely. That's what I want to focus on. Like it's like every year, basically every year, I just want to make a bigger goal for myself, like than the previous years. Like last year was getting my bus done, check. This year it's getting more into the creating space. The year before last, it was paying off my credit card debt and making more sales. So like there's always like a big goal every year that I focus on, and I just go full force onto that. So that's like really what I definitely recommend. It's like make a goal for yourself. It doesn't have to be 55 goals. It doesn't have to be a ridiculous amount. It's just like start off small for you, and once you get to that, then you'll feel more empowered and more motivated to go on to the next goal and the next goal. So that's just like my recommendation really for everyone out there. um and that's what I did. That's something I was able to do, um and that's what helps me grow onto the other levels.
Love it, and love to hear it here. Now we are gonna close out in a minute here. I just wanted to see, did you have any, like, kind of self promotion, any spotlight things you want to do? Like, I forgot if you said, do you have a website or like a link tree or like something that you want people to kind of go and follow and like look at specifically?
Yeah, so I don't really have a website at this moment. So for now, you guys can follow and share this Twitter space. Follow me on at Izzy 1246, and then share this Twitter space because Kowski is the bomb. Like, I met Kowski literally through the V Friends community, and I posted one time, who's going to AC for this what was it called? It was
The
the
Nationals card convention.
Nationals card convention that Gary was going to, and he said, "Oh, I'm going." And I was like, "Oh, cool." We got to talking. Such a great person, such a great vibe. If you haven't met him in person, like I don't know what you're doing with your life, but definitely recommend everyone come on in and definitely do a podcast session with him because it's been fun. It's really been fun. But yeah, like you can follow him, share this space. Hopefully you can motivate other people to act on their dreams. And if you guys want to, I would greatly appreciate you giving me a follow on Instagram as well. It's Sun SUN, the number 8, Soul, SOL. And then my other account is Golden Soul Agency. So golden like the color, soul, SOUL, and then agency. And it should be like a green background with a golden heart and a sun in the middle. And I would greatly appreciate, you know, I would really appreciate all of that. And thank you, Kowski, for holding this amazing space. I look forward to maybe coming on in the future again, and if I do start my own podcast, or when I do start my own podcast, I'll definitely would love to have you on there as well.
Oh yeah, you're definitely welcome to come back. I always invite all the guests back. So no difference here. You're welcome to come back at another time. You have another announcement, not want to tell another part of your story, whatever it's for. It's pretty open here. Um, pretty decent with the scheduling. So we'll definitely get you back on. We might have to just find a day and the time, but it's definitely open. Same thing to the audience. Like you said, if anyone wants to come on, really there's no like criteria, and there's no like good enough or not good enough or worth the time. You kind of decide that. Can you talk for 60 minutes about something you're positive and passionate about? Obviously I'll be talking too, but can you have a conversation? If yes, come on. If no, I don't know, then don't. Yeah, I mean, maybe come up with something to talk about. But most people I can, most people we find something to talk about. We find a passion. Everyone's got something passionate. Even if you go, oh, I don't know if this is my passion, it probably is. You
Yeah.
go, oh, what is it? And usually it's the first answer someone gives, but whatever it is, you'll find something, get something passionate. So yeah, definitely encourage people to come up. Definitely, please check out all Bella's links. Bella, definitely, we want to get you, I think, a link tree so people could find that a little bit easier. And then it's like, more people will follow the easier it is. If you need help with that, I'll definitely help you with that. But for now, go to Instagram. If you need to play back the recording, you missed it, rewind it, no problem. Go to follow her links. Maybe link tree to come. I'm happy to help with that kind of thing. Chris, thank you for coming up. Thank you for thank you for being a listener of the show, but thank you for also coming up, asking a question, being vulnerable, putting yourself out there. I appreciate that, sharing your voice with us. And that's it. We're gonna close out here. Yeah, thank you to everybody who's listening. Thank you to the whole audience. Like Bella said, really appreciate it. Like, share, retweet, follow me, follow her. Go to her for all of your business needs. Get on the bus, check it out. Um, without insurance, get the right things. But that's pretty much it. We always like to close out on the same message here, beyond saying, thank you, share, like, retweet. We like to say, if you have not heard it today, you are loved. That's a message from my friend Afakasi Brand. He also does spaces on Twitter. If you want to check him out, go ahead. Also, super positive guy. Bella too, like she said about me, super positive. Had a really great experience meeting her in person. Big fucking smiles, big positive energy, like warm hugs kind of person. Like you could just feel it radiating and brimming off of her. If you didn't hear it on the podcast, I could like just like testify or reattest that in person, same thing, same vibrant, loving soul from the sun, from the heart of your soul in your heart, from the soul, from the sun in the sky, from all of it, the warmth, the energy, 100% she's there. And she's right behind this message, I'm sure too, that if you haven't heard it today, you are loved.